Okay, hello. If you are watching this, we are going to be going over the reading for today, 70 through page 85, critical analysis for the house on Mango Street. The previous video I had did not have the overlay with it because I'm done with OBS. That's the program that I use. But I'm trying to figure this out. Let's hop right in. The Earl of Tennessee. So the Earl of Tennessee, a summary of this chapter is that it is about Earl that lives next door, dead in his basement. He's a neighbor of Esperanza's, and she doesn't know very much about him. She seems very, very secretive. He has a southern accent. He has some different southern mannerisms to him. One of the things that they to speak about is Earl's so-called wife that comes in. Nobody has really seen her. Everybody has a different account of what she looks like. If we look at this bottom paragraph, it says the word is that Earl is married and has a wife somewhere. Edna says she saw her once when Earl brought her to the apartment. Mama says she's a skinny thing, black and pale like salamanders. They have never seen the sun, but I saw her once too, and she's not that way at all. And the boys across the street say she is a tall redhead lady who wears pink pants and green glasses. We never agree on what she looks like, but we do know this. Whenever she arrives, he holds her tight by the crook of the arm. They walk fast in the apartment, lock the door behind them, and never stay long. To tell you the truth, this isn't really a vignette that I understand very well. Some of these are just that just kind of happens for me. I take that as being a prostitute that he gets because the girl always looks different, but I'm not too sure. If you have any other suggestions about the importance of this, leave a comment below. All right, so Sire. So this is one that I do know about. Sire is a guy in Esperanza's neighborhood, and she talks about him, how she walked past him one day and she caught a glimpse of him, and her mom and her dad say that he's no good. Sire has a girlfriend named Lois who seems very womanly. She seems to be very pretty. Esperanza describes a lot of things that are pink about her. She describes watching Sire and Lois hang out, how her mom says that Lois is one of those girls that go into the alley, and how Esperanza talks about how she really wants to talk to him about how she explodes like she wants to explode like Christmas in front of him, and how she dreams about Sire holding her close. Esperanza has a crush on Sire. It is we talk a little, or Sandra Cisneros writes a little bit about how Sire, how she kind of met Sire, and how she tried to capture his attention, how he looked at him, and how he's kind of like a bad boy. And Esperanza actually kind of wants to go after him. She says, I want to be all new and shiny. I want to sit all bad at night, a boy around my neck and the wind under my skirt. It's showing slightly her wilder side. But essentially, Sire doesn't really notice her, and it's Lois that he's interested in. Four Skinny Trees. So, Four Skinny Trees talks about these trees that Esperanza looks at occasionally in her neighborhood. These trees were planted by the city. She talks a lot about these different trees. She kind of goes on and on about them. I really like this vignette. I think it's one of the best ones in the story, and I recommend just rereading this a couple of times, like two or three times. It's not very long. One of the things that I enjoy about this is when I am too sad and too skinny to keeping, when I am a tiny thing against so many bricks, then I look at trees. When there's nothing left to look at on this street, four who grew despite concrete, four who reach and do not forget to reach, four whose only reason is to be and be. I make a lot of connections in this text. This is a very symbolic. Symbolism is when one thing stands for something else. You can think about the American flag and how we look at it. We think about freedom, or individualism, or democracy. These four skinny trees stand for Esperanza, and perhaps her friends as well. She has four friends, or there's four people in this book they talk a lot about: Rachel, Lucy, Esperanza, Ninny. Um, when there's nothing left to look at on the street, four who grew despite concrete. Four who grew despite concrete. I think that this is talking about either the girls or Esperanza herself. Their roots are in this neighborhood, but they continue to grow despite concrete, kind of like against the odds. Four who reach and do not forget to reach. These trees that are growing up, Esperanza and her friends do not forget to reach out. They do not forget to continue to strive for what they want, for whose only reason is to be and be, for their only reason is to live and continue living. I like this one, and we'll discuss this really heavily in class. No speak English. So in this one we learn about what's George. I think Earl. Or did they give the guy's name? No, they don't give the guy's name, but basically, a man brings her mother here, whose name is Mamacita. She has a boy that she brings with her when she steps out of a taxi. She's a very large woman. Once when she arrives in America, she seems to come from another country, I would assume Mexico. Once when she arrives from America, she goes up these stairs and she stays up there in the apartment all day. Esperanza comments about how she only knows 8 English words. He not here for when the landlord comes is kind of a jest that, gets the landlord to go away. No speak English, and holy smokes, she doesn't socialize very much. She talks about her father coming to the country, and the only thing that he knew was ham and eggs, was kind of like this first word that he learned. Mamacita misses her home. The man that she lives with paints the home pink in order to try to satisfy her, but it's not the same. They end up getting in an argument near the end of the vignette talking about why can't we go home? Win, win, win. And the man says, this is your home. And Mamacita doesn't feel that way. She doesn't think that America's her home. Her home's in Mexico. The little boy that she brings there begins to sing a Pepsi commercial. Mamacita's like, no, don't do this. And she starts to cry. This is a cool, 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 cool chapter. So, first and foremost, one of the things that I like to point out is that I love this whole section right here. All at once she bloomed, huge, enormous, beautiful to look at. From the salmon pink feather on the tip of her hat to the tiny little rosebuds of her toes, I couldn't take my eyes off her tiny shoes. This is her stepping out of the cab. I think that's really, really cool to look at. We get a glimpse at some more symbolism here. My father says when he came to this country, he ate ham and eggs for 3 months. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, ham and eggs. This was the only word he knew. He doesn't eat ham and eggs anymore. The significance of this comes from a couple of different things. We have her father, who obviously is an immigrant from Mexico, as well as Mamacita. And language is one of those things that are very important to a culture. Anytime, English, Spanish, French, whatever language you speak, it's incredibly important to your home life. And so when her dad came, the only word that he ate was ham and eggs because that was kind of his way of life and how he survived when he started living in America. He doesn't eat ham and eggs anymore. He's kind of moved on. He has, what's the word I'm looking for? He has adjusted to American life. He doesn't eat ham and eggs anymore. He doesn't need to, because he has learned to live in America. When we look as far as why she cries when this little boy begins to sing the Pepsi commercial, she's like, no, speak English. She's talking about the bond that she's losing with her homeland. She's talking about the bond that she's losing with her little boy because language is such a strong cultural bond. And she lets out this cry because, I mean, he's singing a Pepsi commercial. That's like the worst thing ever. She's like, this is trash. This isn't part of our culture. And she's losing that part because she loves Mexico so, so much. Raphael, who drinks coconut and paella juice on Tuesdays. Okay, so Raphael she is a wife of a man who goes plays dominoes on Tuesday nights. And on the Tuesdays when he goes, Raphael asks the kids to go to the store, buy her papaya juice and coconut juice. I look back up at the title there. Buy her coconut and papaya juice and bring it to her, and she drinks it, and then she imagines that she's at this town hall, or she's down out of her room at the town hall. She's flirting with guys. She's thinking about some other world that she doesn't live in. Again, these pieces that we have for today are heavily steeped in symbolism. When we look at this, Raphael is trapped like Rapunzel. If you haven't read Rapunzel, she's up in a tower because she was too beautiful to get away, and she's just stuck up there and dreaming. Raphael, who drinks and drinks coconut and paella juice on Tuesdays and wishes there were sweeter drinks, not bitter like an empty room, but sweet, sweet like the island, like the dance hall down the street, where women much older than her throw green eyes easily like dice and open home with keys, and always there's someone offering sweeter drinks, always promising to keep on a silver string. She's symbolizing a better life. She is looking at how things could be, but she's instead trapped up. Sweet, sweet like the island, like that dance hall down the street where women much older than her throw green eyes. She wants a different life, but she's kind of stuck up in her room like Rapunzel is. And she's a dreamer. She's dreaming for better things. That is what we rock and roll and read for today. Let me double check. Oh, we read this as well. Oh well, I'll get to that stuff in another video. If hopefully this helped you out. If you have any questions or you have any comments, especially about that first one, I don't know what's going on with what's his face. What's his face? What's his face? I don't even know his name because he makes me angry. Earl, the Earl of Tennessee. Um, I don't know about this one. I'm interested in it though. Maybe I'll do some research on it. Thank you so much for listening though. I will see you soon and have a wonderful, wonderful day.